G'day golfers, my name's Steve Gannon and welcome back to another episode of Aussie Golf Bros. Now today I just want to do a short video for you to accompany a blog post that I just wrote entitled 10 Negative Self-Talk Habits and How to Fix Them. Now the reason why I wrote this blog post is I see over and over again how powerful and how common negative self-talk is amongst all golfers. So not just your weekend hackers, not just your club members, but your elite guys all the way through to absolute beginners. We see it as almost humorous sometimes to put ourselves down, to berate ourselves. It's almost seen amongst all players as kind of expected. You're expected to put yourself down. You're expected to be hard on yourself. You're expected to give yourself zero praise. Any type of positivity at all is kind of seen as a little bit weak and soft. It's something I'm pretty passionate about, and it's something that's just completely incorrect. Having positive self-talk and having a very, very strong self-image and belief in yourself is probably the most powerful thing a golfer can have. Now, thoughts are things, and they're very, very powerful things at that. It has an energy to it, it has a frequency to it, it has a vibration to it. And your subconscious mind is very, very obedient. And so if you are feeding it constant negative insults on yourself as a human, as a golfer, in any way, shape or form, it's very, very damaging. Now, our thoughts, those things that we tell ourselves, have the power to raise us to the greatest heights that we can possibly imagine, but they also have the power to drive us down to the deepest depths. In fact, it can be argued that there is never anything more telling than the way someone speaks to themselves, whether it's in a positive or a negative manner. So you would think this would be a pretty simple thing to change, right? Hey, let's just start speaking more positively to ourselves. Not quite. Although being aware of the words that we say to ourselves is very important, it's our habits that define us. Now, if you are constantly criticizing yourself out on the golf course, then chances are that it's become like a deep-seated subconscious habit. And I think most of you aren't even aware that you're doing it. So every time that you criticize yourself, it affects your self-image. You tell yourself affirmations and stories that simply aren't true. Your subconscious mind is like a magnet to this. It doesn't process positives or negatives. It doesn't know that you're only joking. It doesn't know that you think you don't mean it. All it knows is what you're telling it. And so it creates this story. I'm the worst putter in the world. Look, I'm not going to run through every single habit that I've written about. Jump across to our blog post on AussieGolfPros.com and you can read about it there. But I would like to jump in and just pick a few of them and have a look at them. See if they resonate with you, and then I'll give you a few ways to be able to eradicate the problem, or at least have a chance to fix it. Well, let's start with the all-time favorite one. Habit number one, I'm only joking. So if you're like most golfers that I know, you won't even admit to negative self-talk. To be honest, you don't even really know that you're doing it. You kind of laugh it off as humor. You know, you've heard it a million times before. That guy that plays super golf all day and holes nothing and calls himself the worst putter in the world. If you check him up on it, he'll tell you he's just joking. But really, what's going on in there? So what's the fix? Well, realize that it's human to be negative sometimes. Everybody feels it on occasion. Denying it only gives it more power. Observing and accepting is the real key. Don't get locked into that negative cycle. And as I stated before, your subconscious mind doesn't understand anything other than what you tell it. It doesn't process positives or negatives. It's really obedient and just stores all of those things that you tell it. And if you're telling those things on a regular occurrence, it believes it as gospel, it believes it as fact. Don't get locked in to this negative way of thinking. Okay, let's skip over to habit number 3. Well, I can't hit that shot anyway. Well, if you're positive that something is not going to work, then chances are you're right. We have this habit of self-sabotaging ourselves, whether we realize it or not. It was Henry Ford that was famously quoted, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're right." Okay, so what's the fix? Firstly, you need to understand it's okay to ask yourself, hey, what can go wrong here? Especially when you're going through your pre-swing process. In fact, I encourage it. There is such a thing as a good, thought out, calculated miss. It's framed in the positive. But at some point, you've just got to let go of the worry and fear. You've just got to learn to start focusing on what you want to achieve, not what you don't want. And I think that's a habit that we've all got into at certain times. We step up on a tee and we focus on where we don't want to go. So what that does is that tells our subconscious mind, that's what we're focusing on, that's where we want to go. So we have to be very, very careful in our self-talk to make it positive and to make it about what we want to do and not what we don't want to do. Okay, let's skip all the way to habit number 9 and the last one that I'll do on this video today. My playing partners said it was a bad idea. Okay, so why are you listening to other people? Especially those negative people in your group, because their negativity has just a way of rubbing off on you. It's like an energy magnet. The more you focus on it, the more you'll find you'll get caught up in it. Please, don't fall victim to the energy vampire. Okay, so what's the fix? Well, it might be that you take a step back and have a look who you have in your golfing life. Now, while it might not always be easy to remove someone from your weekly 4-ball, you can certainly limit what negativity that you will tolerate. So if the round starts getting way too negative, set some boundaries. Make it clear, let them know that there's only so much that you will tolerate and you really, really don't want to listen to the negative bullshit. Now, if it keeps persisting, find some new playing partners. Well, thanks for listening to me today, guys. That was just 3 of the 10 negative self-talk habits that I talk about in the blog posts, and just a few tips and tricks and strategies and philosophies on how that you can manage or deal with it. Now, if you've enjoyed this video or this kind of topic interests you at all, why don't you hit the subscribe button or give us a bit of a like. But also head over to our website, AussieGolfPros.com, and you'll see that latest blog post there. You can have a look around, you can ask us any questions, you can subscribe. And please don't forget to hit that little bell. It really does make a big difference. Glenn and I love doing these videos and providing the website and all the different areas on social that we spend time creating content for you. You guys are really important to us. It's a labor of love for us. So thanks so much again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Enjoy your golf.